Hello and welcome back to an Epic Wombat, where today we're going to be answering the age-old question. What would happen if you throw an elderly man and a large pit bull in a room together? Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be fine. Today I'm going to be playing through Elden Ring as Margit, the Fell Omen, or Morgott, the Fell King, or this random guy over here. I guess I don't really know what his deal is. The rules are pretty simple. I have to start from a new character and beat every remembrance boss using only weapons and abilities that Morgott uses in his fights, which include but are not limited to the LSD sword, technically throwing daggers, and of course, literally just Reinhardt shatter. But before we get to all that, I've got to start off by creating my character. I chose the Confessor class, partially because of its stats, but also because it has like a similar Fortnite backbling to Morgott. Kinda. Once we reach Limgrave, I finally get my first weapon, throwing daggers, which are, fun fact, not good, and I proceed to barely use them at all for the rest of the run. I then skip like 30 hours of content by taking this side path and go up to Round Table where I collect my next two weapons, what's essentially a pure holy dagger and a short spear. Speaking of which though, why is this thing called a short spear? I'm not a weapons expert, but like, it's the exact same size as every other spear. The only short thing about it is Patches' lifespan. I need Patches to die so I can grab his spear, which starts at +7, saving me some cash. I wonder why I possibly could be running low on cash. It's fine, I wouldn't have ended up using Charge Forth anyway. After that, we're going to grab a few more things like Faith Talisman, the Faith Tear, the Volcano Manor Letter, the Flayed Skin of a Living Being, and the Physics Flask. I also get the Dectus Medallions and kill a nobleman. Officer, please, you have to understand me. I killed that man for upgrade materials. Up to Altus we go, still having yet to kill a boss, and I go and grab some Holy Grease so it at least looks like I'm using a similar spear to Morgott. Last, I get Spectral Lance and upgrade my weapons before it's time for the first boss, myself. I knew I was always getting in my own way. In reality, I am a weak foe, and I fall quickly to myself. This gives me access to Stormvale Castle, land of running sections essentially. That's about all this thing is on this playthrough. Godrick, however, did not want to get run through. Back to the overworld we go. Holy Grease is kind of annoying to get a lot of, so I instead grabbed Sacred Blade, as it's a way for me to constantly have the holy effect on my spear without me having to farm tons of Holy Grease. I also grabbed some more upgrade materials while on the way demolishing a twink with my large spear. Back to Godrick. This fight honestly wasn't that bad, I'm just really bad at Godrick's moveset because I'm usually super overpowered by the time I fight him. This time though, I was not. I tried not to use Sacred Blade's ability too much, as the projectile part of it doesn't really have an analog when it comes to Margit's moveset. I just tried to use it for the holy effect. Other than that though, all it took was some good rolls, some bad ones, and an old man cosplaying as a demigod to get the victory royale.
I am the Lord of all that is golden, and one day...
Next remembrance is Renala, but first we have to get past her service animal. The only service that's providing me, though, is death. Thankfully, I was eventually able to return the favor, although our next stop is a quick detour to grab the Ritual Sword Talisman, which consequently led to me becoming the first person in recorded history to die to Gillica. As Sojourn would say,
"That's just embarrassing."
Luckily, I don't play Overwatch anymore. Overwatch player spotted. Defense measures engaged. Up next, we take a quick trip back to Limgrave to get Margit's Tail Attack, which is not a good spell. I promise though, we do use it at some point. You're just gonna have to wait a while for that. Our next task though is to help the homeless guy at the local church, which we do by pickpocketing a dead guy, because what's he gonna use this for anyway? We have a much more pressing issue. I have no idea how to hold my hands in the air like I just do not care. The homeless guy is very generous, however, so he teaches me. The reason I needed to do this was so I could unlock the Gavel of Haimo, aka Big Hammer Go. The Erdtree avatar with all the elemental damage buffs is also conveniently right here. Deforestation, don't mind if I do. Tree Sentinel time. I've probably got enough damage to go right now if I want to. Okay, but maybe if I just grab a staff so I can cast this spell. Okay, maybe I'll wait a bit on that. What about Radon? I see. Well, now I get put in a bit of a predicament. Either I commit frog genocide and level up a bit so I have an easier time on the bosses, or I just simply get good at the game. Luckily for y'all, I am a man of morals, and I would not dare do such a thing. I grab the Sacred Scorpion Charm as well, and then it's back on the grind. Up next is Goldfree, which is a fight that didn't give me too much trouble. Morgott, on the other hand, did.
You're weak. I'm you.
Let's come back to this. What is in der Boxen? Ich believe das Schwammbab in der Boxen. Der Grottbernalin? A couple more upgrades and we're back in the ring with the man himself, doing ever so slightly more damage than we used to. God damn it. Finally, he's dead. Anyways, with this new weapon, Radahn is way easier, and I have time to grab some more upgrade materials and Morgott's Grid Room before heading northwards to Canada. Unfortunately, border control looks a little familiar.
Thou art of passing skill.
Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about?
Now I have to fight the Canadian boss. What's something funny I can say about Canadians? French, actually. Imagine speaking French, like that's a fate worse than death. Honestly, I'm probably putting this Quebecian out of their misery if we're being for real. Alright, so at some point I have to do Ronnie's questline in order to unlock Fortisex, so might as well start that now. After all, with a sword this big, Loretta doesn't stand a chance.
Good. Art thou a wit left of go that.
I don't really have any funny lines for this, so here's the first stock footage that shows up when I look up epic gaming moments.
My strain, I am so I must thank you may leave. It was but
Let's go grab the curse mark. What does this guy think he's gonna do? I'm already over leveled for this place. Bro's gonna be a cakewalk.
12 seconds later.
Never mind, I am very sorry, Mr. Noble. You can have your bridge. I will be staying off of it from now on. Thank God he's gone. Now I just gotta make it to Ohio. I sure hope I don't get skippity-rizzed. My reasons for coming here, though, are twofold. First, I need the Lord of Blood's exaltation from Edgar, because Morgott's sword causes blood loss for some inexplicable reason. Secondly, though, defeating Sewer Mode gives me access to Deep-Root Depths, home of the 5 Simps, and not even Fia yet, but she'll be here soon, I guess. Fire Giant's the next boss we've got, and he did give me a bit of trouble. I even decided to go and get the Ritual Shield Talisman to help me, only to then no-hit the boss anyway. Truly a worthwhile use of my time. Speaking of time, you know what time it is? Arson. And yes, I have made that joke in every Elden Ring video I've made, and no, I do not plan on stopping. Before we face the boss, known as Godskin Duo, I have to traverse the Lake of Gyat on my way to the Mega Gyat called Your Mom. Unfortunately, she's stronger than she looks. After dealing with Estelle, we take a trek back up the mountaintops to face Commander Niall, which I actually think is a really fun fight, unlike certain other bosses that we still have to fight. After defeating Niall, we go rob a homeless man to unlock the hidden path to the Halig Tree. Naturally, I receive a warm welcome from all the local residents. But I persist and eventually make it down to Loretta. Speaking of which though, Loretta kind of confuses me. Like, originally you fight her and you're just like, oh yeah, she's probably just a tree sentinel that served the Carians. But then she just shows up in the Halig Tree and it's never really explained why. She's just kind of here vibing, I guess. Maybe she saw what happened to Renala and said, hell nah. Either way, she's dead now. Once I got past her, I grabbed America's Soar Seal and the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman before heading to Melania. Surely I'm strong enough to fight her right now. Maybe not. Well, to progress I need to get through the fucking Harkonnens, bro. I swear that's literally all they are.
He who controls the
Sleep.
controls the universe.
That's really all it takes, isn't it? And now, it's finally time. What does happen when you throw an old man and a large pit bull in the same arena? We'll get back to him First, we've got to kill Moog, which is actually pretty easy since he's weak to bleed. And we also got to stop by Fortisax. Fortisax is a weird one. I've fought him before, and each fight just seems to devolve into us trading hits until one of us dies. But I always seem to have more health than him, so he just kind of win by default. Not a particularly exciting boss fight if I'm being for real. Back to Malakath, who poses a bit more of a challenge than some of the previous bosses. He always just seems to be faster than my swings, so I have to be really patient with what openings I'm willing to punish. I did manage to push him to the edge of the map in phase 2 though, which for some reason seems to make him spam the same couple of attacks that are all really easy to punish. With him down, we start the good old endgame boss rush. Gideon just kinda dies. Borlu takes a couple more attempts, but he also just kinda dies. That leaves us with our final 3, Millennia, Placidusax, and the Elden Beast. Just kidding, I completely forgot about Rykard, so we've got to go through that though. Luckily, since I moved to Australia, I've become an expert at not dying to snakes, and that seemed to carry over in game. To be fair, this is just a dumb fight. Millennia's next, and this time it doesn't take me 14 hours of grinding to beat her. That means I'm better at the game, right? I guess not. Hey, at least I get to use the tail attack here. It's definitely not good, but it at least has decent poise damage. That's better than nothing, I guess. Anyways, while I'm fighting Radabeast, I just want to take a second to thank you all for watching, and remind you to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe while you're at it. It means a lot and really helps out the channel. Oops, wrong clip. And there we have it. Morgott defeats the Elden Beast and claims the throne, just like he's always wanted. At least until June 20th.